Namaskar. Hello and welcome to PGurus channel. I'm your host Sree Iyer. Land, land, land. That's all the political parties are thirsting for. They pay you, the poor stupid voter, money to get your vote, and then they try to recover it by going after land. Land of yours. This is what has been the playbook across India, especially in the southern states, because there has been development despite all their efforts to not do anything about it. Development has been happening, which means that it leads to increasing prosperity for people, and therefore people start doing what they do best. Just go and grab the land. If the land is in the right place at the right time, yes, they go for it with both their hands. This is what has been happening with various places, and this temple, which goes back to the times of Rig Veda, has been the latest one in the attempt to grab land. Here is the story of this. I should have put this thing out 2 days ago. My bad, because Shiva-Veerabhadra was just 2 days ago. That's the day this temple gets the most amount of crowd, and I should have done it that day. My apologies. It has been taking a while to do this research, and finally the research was ready. I'm going to be talking about the Machileshwar 𝗤𝙗𝙗 Temple. This, once I reveal the location to you, you will understand how important it is in terms of location. Well, I don't know how many of you know the layout of the Hyderabad city. One of the great things that Chandrababu Naidu did was he created what is called as Cyberabad. Cyber means computer related. It was a play on words, very clever play on words, I might say. That city is created outside of the existing city. So anyone, and it is not very far from the airport. So anyone who is trying to invest in the city to create their own high-tech ecosystem, it's very easy to do that because there's land available, and the access to this area in and out is relatively quick from the airport. So imagine my surprise when I came across this story about a couple of years ago. The Machileshwar 𝗤𝙗𝙗 Hill Temple is also called 𝗤𝙗𝙗. Gutta means a hillock in Telugu. This temple is about 25 kilometers west of Hyderabad and about 15 kilometers from the Mehdipatnam city bus station. What is not said here is it is barely 5 kilometers from the international airport, and it is just off of the outer ring road, one of the fastest roads in Hyderabad. So imagine if you happen to, if you have a company based here, you would be able to get in and out of from the airport in 15-20 minutes. Prime location in terms of what you want for an upcoming startup company, or if you want to live there, that's the best place to be. You can work till the last minute, then jump onto a car, and 15 minutes you are at the airport, and then you're off. So this area, now I'm going to go into what exactly is this area about, its history, and why it is important that we preserve this. And more importantly, here, this is not the only temple. Many of you may have heard of the Chilkur Balaji Temple. The Chilkur Balaji Temple is just adjacent to this and has suffered similar fate. So this is not a one-off attempt. This is a routine attempt. I mean, you've been hearing from me about the quota that Congress assigns to all its state governments. They have to make so much money every month. There are no excuses. If you don't do it, then you get replaced by somebody else, more greedy, more corrupt, and more willing to bend the laws, and if not, break the laws. So this is the story of India's politics. When is it going to change? Well, we are all hoping with bated breath that once BJP starts taking root in all the states, then maybe it will stop. But then we have also seen that BJP surprises us. Uttarakhand, it tried to take over the temples. So there is no easy way. The Hindus need to fight for themselves. That's all I can say. We Sanatanis, we have to do for ourselves. We have to fend for ourselves. Now, this temple is situated at 110 feet high, and it's a 54 acres hill, and the total landscape is about 183.21 acres. This is all forested, and it's on the banks of Muchukunda River, which we call today as Musi, M-U-S-I. This is something that most of us in Hyderabad refer to. There is only one river that flows right through Hyderabad. Once it enters the city, it's a sewage tank, a slowly moving sewage system. But at least at this point, where it is coming from the source, it is fairly clean. And the temple is right on the banks of the Muchukunda River. It's in a village called Machileshwar, and its very close point is Gandipet, the reservoir, Rajendra Nagar Mandal, Rangareddy district, Telangana, India. Like I said, it is barely 5 kilometers or so from the airport. Maybe it is a little bit longer. I mean, I could zip in and out of it in no time at all. What is the legend of the temple? That is the Sthala Puranam. Every temple you go to, viewers, anywhere in India, in fact, today you saw in Twitter a mosque that got raised down because of a recent earthquake, revealed a Hindu Shiva temple in a town called Mazar-e-Sharif, northwestern Afghanistan, where the Hindu Shahi kings ruled. 1,000-year-old temple. 1,000-year-old temple. These inscriptions are in Sanskrit. It talks about the king that ruled it, the king who built it. All that stuff is on social media. You can take a look at it. This one goes a lot longer back in time. The main deity is Lord Shiva in the form of a Shiva-lingam, and Shiva-Veerabhadra, the first son of Bhagwan Shiva and Mata Parvati. See, many of us think that Shiva and Parvati have only two sons, Ganesha and Subramanya, but there is legend that the first son is called Veerabhadra and is a very ferocious form of Shiva. The name Machileshwar has come into existence as the Shiva-linga is beneath a huge rock shaped like a fish. Machili is Sanskritam, Telugu, Hindi, whatever you want. I mean, it's the same thing. Machileshwar, that's how the name came. The belief is that by feeding the fishes in the Muchukunda river, that is the Musi river, our desires will be fulfilled by Bhagwan Shiva. Right now, the way things are, your heart will bleed. They were initially allocated 320 acres, of which 180 acres have been appropriated by the state for running a Greyhound program. That is, the Greyhound is a special program of police, a special police unit that trains for encounters and all that kind of stuff. That training academy has been placed right here, and this is again illegal because if you look back at the record, the entire 320 acres is being owned by this small family of priests, but they have been successively sidelined. In fact, I'm hearing that the Greyhound has cut off access for the temple people to go to the river. It's on the banks of the river on a hillock, but you can't go to the river, take bath, and then come and do your puja, which is how it used to be. I'm going to talk to you about all that also. It's a belief that anyone who does dhyana meditation from 12 a.m. to 1:30 a.m. in the night for 40 days will be blessed with whatever they want from Bhagwan Shiva. Shiva-linga is believed to be installed in Satya Yuga, that's also called Rig Krita Yuga. And we don't even know if it is Rig Veda or even before that. In Dwapara Yuga, you had Lord Rama. In Treta Yuga, you had Lord Krishna. And now we are in Kali Yuga. Shiva-linga is believed to be installed in the Satya Yuga, Krita Yuga. Yuga means age, which is before the Treta Yuga, Ramayana time. And I think that is wrong. I think Treta Yuga is Mahabharata time. By Siddha Purushas, that is self-realized liberated soul. In fact, you can see some strange things on this the temple that cannot be carved, and you can't explain it. It is believed that it is a footprint of Veerabhadra who is supposed to have come there. The rock on top of Shiva-lingam takes the shape of a serpent head. The speciality and belief is, it is believed that Swami Veerabhadra manifested himself on the hill inside the cave when the Siddha Purushas prayed for him to be the Kshetra, holy place, Paripalaka, guardian. See, this is all Sanskrit. Hindi and Telugu, is 80% Sanskrit. If you listen to Telugu news, you can follow it because so purely Telugu is actually a lot of it's Sanskrit. The hill has Lord Veerabhadra Swami's footprints. This is what I was telling you about. The footprints are inscribed in the sand, in the stone, and it's not something that you can carve. It is believed that it was Veerabhadra himself who came here and set foot. The speciality and belief is these forms are known as Swayambhu Swayambhu. Swayambhu is self-formed. Swami Veerabhadra's consort is Devi Bhadrakali and Lord Nandi is the Vahana. Muchukunda Chakravarti's visit. Muchukunda Chakravarti, whose mention can be found in Shiva Purana. We are going back to Shiva Purana now. Vishnu Purana, Book 5, Chapter 13, Garuda Purana, Skanda Purana worship Bhagwan Shiva at this temple, and hence the river is named after the king. The region of the temple is reputed to be Rishi Aradhana Kshetram. That means a place, Aradhana, you know what it is, place of worship for sages. It is believed that sage Muchukunda took shelter in the Matam, the Ayya Matam cave, and since he had come for the darshan of Machileshwar and Swami Veerabhadra. Now, what happened after that is Muchukunda, son of the famous king Mandatri, then was born in the 𝗤𝙗𝙗 dynasty, the descendant of Surya Vamsha. So now you see again this thing going back to the Lord Rama. I remember I told you, right, when we do pujas even today, in fact today, we do pujas even today, when we start setting out and say, we say that we are in Vaivasvata Manu Mantre, and we are in Prathama Pada of Kali Yuga, Prathame Pade, Jambu Dvipe, which we are in India, Bharata Varshe, Bharata Khande. Okay, so we are in the first phase of Kali Yuga, and it Vaivasvata Manvantare. What is Vaivasvata Manvantare? That means it is the Manu, whose name is Vaivasvata Manu. Why is it Vaivasvata Manu? Because he was the son of Vivaswan. That's why Vaivasvata Manu. And Vivaswan is another name for Surya. Therefore, so you have the lineage here. You have Surya, then Manu, Vaivasvata Manu, and from Manu his son was 𝗤𝙗𝙗, and then that dynasty started, and that's why Rama is from Surya Vamshi. So you know that lineage. Anybody can go and look it up. You can see what the lineage is, where all. There was also a very famous king called Raghu, and then you have Dasharatha, and then Lord Rama, and then it goes on. Akkanna and Madanna. There were two brothers, Akkanna and Madanna. They were uncles of Bhakta Ramdas, who were ministers in the royal court of Abul Hasan Qutub Shah or Abul Hasan Tana Shah. The Tana Shahi, that word that we use, is believed to have come from this guy's reign. They were devotees of this Machileshwar temple. The temple stairs, if you look at the steps that lead up to the temple, it has been built by them, because it is believed that they would take bath in the river, and then with the damp clothes, they would astride a horse. And if you want to create steps for a horse, the steps have to be like 8 feet long. Only then the horse can gallop up. And it has to be very gentle slope. And you can see that these stairs leading up to the temple from the river. Of course, now, like I said, the greyhound has cut it off, I heard, and that needs to go. The court needs to help the family of priests, because right now all the court has allowed them to do is to still keep the small premises around the temple, which is a very, very small area, totally hillock based. You can't do anything there, but it just has the temple, and even that these people wanted. I'll tell you the breakdown of the land that has been grabbed thus far, and your blood will boil. The place where Madanna used to take bath before he had darshan can be visited. It is called Madanna Madugu. The Jagadguru Shankaryacharya is supposed to have also visited this place, and he had come for the darshan of Machileshwar and Swami Veerabhadra. This is you see, depending on who you talk to, Adi Shankara is believed to have lived around 500 BCE, before Common Era. And some people say, no, it is 700 after Anno Domini or Common Era. But see, there's a confusion. There was an Abhinava Adi Shankara around that age, and people tend to confuse him with the original Adi Shankara. We have done some research on PGurus, and we stand by the date that is around 560 BCE or something like that. I don't remember the exact date. 5th century BCE is when Adi Shankara set foot on earth. Machileshwar Veeranagutta Temple is also called Chinna Srisailam. You remember Srisailam, right? Srisailam is one of the, what is it? Jyotirlingas. Okay. It has a similar topology with the Srisailam Temple. The Srisailam Temple and Machileshwar Veerabhadra Temple are situated on top of a hill. Both are. In Srisailam, the Shivalingam has the Patala Ganga, river Krishna, on the right side. Similarly, Machileshwar Temple has the Muchukunda Nadi, river Musi. The festivals that are very popular here: Monday is the day of Shankar, Mahashivratri, Shravan Masam, and Kavadi Yatra. Kavadi is something that is very popular in the south of India, less so in Telangana, but this temple does celebrate that. You have Padala Puja, Padala Puja. Pada means foot. This is the, remember I told you about the foot of Veerabhadra. Naga dosha, Sharpa dosha, and Kala Sarpa dosha. You can do remedy from those things. Supreme Court finally, so this is what it was. The Akkanna and Madanna got grants from the king or the Nawab, the Kutub guy. They got 320 acres, and there is Patra, the Urdu document, it's translated. I've gone through it, and it says clearly that they have been allocated 320 acres, and this land is to be used for the upkeep of the temple. Now, the temple has a Goshala, but their cows are extremely, you can see the ribs on them. They are very, very thin because there is no money here. Why is there no money? Because this temple did not want to come under endowment, and one way to do that is not to put a hundi. See, if a temple doesn't have a hundi, then there is no money to audit. Whatever money they give, they just give when the day of Archana, something, if somebody comes and performs Archana, and if you put Dakshina on the Archana, that goes to the priest. Although some state governments have tried to steal that too. Anyway, so this 320 acres, how did it get whittled down to 6? And now they want even that to be taken out. How did it happen? Well, one smart, super smart MLA who wanted to get elected took 145 acres from this and gave it away to a group of scheduled tribe, scheduled caste people, saying that we will give you this land, in exchange you have to vote for us. Well, it happens only once. They got the land, they started putting down roots, but then Greyhound came along and looked at and said that, look, this is not your land to own, this is illegal. So they went to court, and in Supreme Court, the scheduled caste community who actually were living in that 145 acres have lost it. So now it is believed that it is government property. Greyhound still wants to state it there. They also do firing there. I mean, firing can, and if they are trying to test, things like IEDs and stuff like that, it's going to do some destruction to the ecology around this area. This is a small hillock. I hope that nothing there gets disturbed because of all this. In my opinion, the Greyhound should be put much further away from the city. It doesn't have to be in the city. There's no reason for it. This is just a training school. So that was the first land grab. The second one is the remaining 170 odd or 180 odd acres. Much of that has been grabbed by others. And we have had sightings of the KCR family coming and looking at this place 2-3 years ago. That's when I started looking at this, and I had done 3 or 4 programs now on this. This is the more detailed one and the more comprehensive one. I wanted to open everybody's eyes to the reality of this situation. Now what happened? Now, and if you have heard Vishesh Kanodia, the lawyer who's representing the family, he was explaining how 20 officers landed there and said that we are going to take over the temple. I mean, this temple is actually a cave, guys. And in the cave, the Shiva's lingam is in the first place, and then after that is Veerabhadra statue, and then you go out. So there is a one way in and one way out. And if the inside, in front of puja, Shiva, where you have to stand and do puja, 5 people can stand. 5 people. That's it. And that too, if you adjust yourself. But in terms of going in and out, ingress, egress, 1 or 2 people at a time can walk. That's it. And 20 EO officers. And they want to have 20 EO officers for this temple? What a joke. No. What they want is they want to flatten this place. Who cares about Sthala Purana? Who cares about the fact that thousands of years ago, Veerabhadra has himself set foot here? They just want the land because it is so close to the airport. Oh my God, everybody's salivating. The going rate, I'm told, is 100 crores per acre. 100 crores per acre. and naked land grab, all that belongs to them. It should come back to them, all the 320 acres. We have to wait and see how that goes. So the EOS, the new Revanth Reddy government comes in, orders take over. See, again, I'm sensing something that these people are all one-termers. They want to steal as much as possible because they feel that the way BJP is consolidating itself, that they will not be in power for long. So take whatever you can and now make your money while the sun shines. So this order has now been stayed by the Supreme Court. That's where 𝗤𝗚𝘅 Kanodia had come and explained to us that this temple cannot be taken over by the government. So I've given you the entire history of the land here. We have to wait and see how this thing plays out. The problem here is the temples should not be controlled by the government. Does the government control mosques? Does the government control churches? Does the government control gurudwaras? Does the government control all the Parsi temples? Nothing. If those people can capably manage their own affairs, why should the Hindus give it to the temple, to the government? Why should the Hindus give their temples to the government? We can manage it fine. Thank you. You get out of there. This has been the verdict that has been given in the 𝗤𝙗𝙗𝘀𝑒 judgment that Dr. Subramanian Swami got for all of us. So anybody, any temple anymore cannot be now taken over. The law is very clear on that. There is the clause is, if there is financial mismanagement, then for a limited amount of time, the government can come in, clean it up, and then give it back to the original trustees. Here, I'm telling you, it's 5 or 10 families will come every day to do puja, to take darshan. On the Mahashivratri day, 1 lakh people come. What it is it's completely devoid of funds, and because they made a conscious decision not to take any money from the visiting pilgrims, they said this is really hand to mouth. There are 4 or 5 families left, and some of them, the children have taken jobs outside of priesthood. Some are continuing to be priests. I mean, is this the way we treat our members of the priestly community? Ask yourself. And all this, it's because of apathy, total apathy. The crowds that come to 𝗤𝙗𝑆 Balaji Temple have to be seen to be believed. Why? There's a belief there that if you want to get visa, you go there, pray at 𝗤𝙗𝑆 Balaji Temple, and then go and apply for a visa, and you're going to get a visa. Therefore, all the students flock there. Some way, this one is even more important and impactful, except that there has been no exposure of this because this temple has actually languished. They never had any money. They don't want any money. They just want to be with their Lord. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. I don't know if there are any questions here. Please correct. Treta Yuga is Rama and Dwapara Yuga is Lord Krishna. Okay, I stand corrected. I always confuse between the two. Thank you so much, Sushanand Keshavji. And Krita Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, Kali Yuga. Got it. That is the correct order. Yes. Thank you so much. Thanks for correcting me. And this is where things stand right now. I hope that justice is done. They need to really get back the entire 320 acres, because if that is the case, then it can be some development done. This place is in crying need of so many universities, forms of education. There can be a lot that can be done, but first you need to have some breathing time. Constantly, every government comes in with an eye on this, and they want to just grab this land. That's all it is. Naked grab. They have greased the system, and it's very, very difficult unless you go to the apex court for justice. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to click on the bell button for notifications. Namaskar.